I have often been asked, why are you mobilizing farmers across the country for Asiwaju and Shettima? The question is the simplest of questions to answer. In these 2023 elections, who is the candidate that has spoken about the farmers with convictions? Who is the candidate that has spoken about the farmers, like I said, with convictions? Agbado and Cassava, cattle, poultry, you name them. The Asiwaju Farmers Forum is a gathering of Nigerians from all over the country. Nigerians in rural areas, Nigerians in suburban areas, whose economy is dependent on agriculture for survival. How do you change a country if you cannot impact on the life of our most vulnerable people? Have you listened to the speech by our leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Have you taken the time to listen to that speech? That speech was in 2019, if I'm correct. The speech spoke to the challenge of insecurity in Nigeria. He said, you have an insecurity problem. How can you have an insecurity problem when you have majority of your people who are youths, graduates without jobs? Who can secure this country? Egypt does it. Israel does it. The United States does it. When the young become a part of a military exercise, trained to protect the country, pure blood, Nigerians, Southerners, Easterners, Westerners, Northerners, Yorubas, Hausas, Igbos, Christians, Muslims, and traditional worshippers like myself. That if you deploy millions of Nigerians to protect this country, you would need to provide food to take care of them. And my leader, the Asiwaju of the universe, the Jagaban Borough, the epitome of progressivism, the man who is the pathfinder of Lagos, Emiloko Awaloko, said, and I quote, you feed them with Agbado, you feed them with Cassava, you feed them with eggs, you feed them with cow, you feed them with soya beans, and all of those. And what so many Nigerians fail to realize, those are called the Twitter generation. Soros, okay, you want miracles, you don't want to work. You want a good nation, but you disrespect your president when you are giving an award. All of that generation fail to realize that every morning when you wake up, what do you eat? Cornflakes, Quaker oats, and what again? Egg bar, bread. Yeah. Everything you eat in the morning when you wake up is part of the Agbado Cassava philosophy. In the afternoon, my secretary, what do you eat? You eat semo, you eat eba. You know, as a Yoruba man like myself, I eat eba morning, afternoon, night. So you eat semo, you eat pounded yam, you eat eba, you eat lafu, you eat amala, you eat akpu. In the evening, what are you likely going to eat? You want to eat salt? Every food, everything you eat, morning, afternoon, evening, is produced right here in Nigeria. So are we not cursed as a people if we become dependent on the imports from Europe, from America, from Asia, for us to survive. 200 million people, an average age of 19, depending with over 60 million arable hectares of farmland, depending on the West to eat Agbado and Cassava, depending on the West to eat cow. When my team, Asiwaju and Shettima, are telling you that it is time to look inward, think. The Chinese ate their stones. I was born in 1976, 2nd March to be precise. I grew up in Kaduna, in Warri. And guess what? When I was growing up, it was made in Nigeria for Nigeria. And not just that, anything made in China was considered inferior. It was considered not good enough. Sanchi. It was considered bad. In short, for those who will watch this video, take your time and look at the design of the Russian Lada car or the Tata Indian car, what it was in the 70s and 80s and what it is today. Today, Lada from Russia and Tata from India is competing with the best of cars from GM, from Ford, from Mercedes, from BMW, from Audi and Co. Do you know what they did? They ate their stones. Eat your stone. It is time for us to reflect and think that in poultry, Nigeria have the capacity to become massively productive. That in cassava, we have the capacity for ethanol. We have the capacity to feed our people and to become legendary as a country. And in Agbado, we have the capacity to become the largest producer of Agbado in the world and the highest creator of jobs in the country. And in cattle, we have the capacity of creating the next generation of multi-billion-dollar cow. Our failure as a country is our fault as a people. You know, in 2016, I led a march to shut down the National Assembly, participated in Occupy Nigeria 2012 or earlier. Something became clear. It is time to occupy the farms. It is time to utilize what we have in Nigeria to be able to grow the Nigerian country. It is time to ask, what am I doing to make my country work? Do you know that part of the Agbado and Cassava philosophy is the repopulation of the Lake Chad and most of northern Nigeria that are suffering from deforestation with economic trees? Sanchi, my secretary, that is the point. If you repopulate the north with economic trees, you can change the landscape of the north in the next 10, 20 years. Who is the best person to trust with that ideology and that philosophy than the man who had a 50 years development plan for Lagos? Than the man who was challenged with Boko Haram in Borno, but stood his ground, built schools, built agriculture, built projects that are defiant, that are determined, that are progressive for the cause of our nation. So I am coming to farmers of the Asiwaju Farmers Forum. Farmers that build. Farmers that are mobilizing for bad cash, for bad tishe. Oba tishe. I'm not in the Yoruba man, but Oba tishe is what you know. It is a turn of the farmers to determine the presidency. And people ask, oh, farmers are not educated. I say, you don't mean it. When you shop food, you ask whether is the food, the person that prepared the food, whether they're educated, you well. The largest producer of food in this country are those from rural and suburban Nigeria. When Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Senator Shettima speak about the Agbado and Cassava economy, they're speaking about the rural farmer, they're speaking about the suburban farmer, they're speaking about the Nigerian who is unemployed but is cultivating 1 acre, 1 hectare. In the words of Barack Obama, and I'm going to paraphrase, one farmer can feed a home. And if one farmer can feed a family, that farmer can feed a community. And if a farmer can feed a community, the farmer can feed a town. And if a farmer can feed a town, the farmer can feed a city. And if a farmer can feed a city, the farmer can feed a state. And if a farmer can feed a state, the farmer can feed a country. In the course of feeding the country, it develops the country. In the course of developing the country, it makes the country progressive. In the course of making the country progressive, it makes the country stable, it makes the country developmental, and it makes the country survive. The Asiwaju Farmers Forum is calling on all farmers to put their money where their mouth is, or put their mouth where their money is. The man that is telling you about the Agbado and Cassava is a man that loves you because he's a man that understands you. The one that mocks Agbado and Cassava mocks the very essence of his own survival. He never loves you. And you know, the shocking part of this Agbado and Cassava position from Asiwaju and what we have done is that today, what's today's date? My secretary.
Today is
11th of the 12th. Today, the 11th of October, 12th, 2022. 15,000 lead mobilizers are mobilizing rural farmers across the country. 3 million Nigerian farmers have been secured for the Asiwaju Kashima presidency already. Today, 12th of October, we are going to achieve 50,000 lead mobilizers across the country. You know what they want to do? They want to turn up this country for Asiwaju. Because it is time to walk the talk. No president in human history, in Nigerian history, in the comfort and in the realization of the democratic process in Nigeria, there is no president that has invested in agriculture more than President Muhammadu Buhari. You hate him? You're hating him for your own good. Oh, the economy is high. Oh, insecurity is a challenge. Let me put it to you. I would prefer the Nigeria of today than the Nigeria of 2010 to 2014. The Nigeria where bombs were going off everywhere. The Nigeria where you needed the military escort and security comfort to be able to go to your church and your mosque. For those of us who are traditional worshippers, to our traditional shrines. That is not the Nigeria we have. It is not yet El Dorado. What we are saying is progress has been made. Those of you that believe Rome was not built in a day must ask, Nigeria, what you built in a day? We must get beyond the Kalo economy. Let me repeat. We must get beyond the Kalo economy. Where young Nigerians are spending $100 billion naira every month to play Bet Naija. Oh, what a country. Where all we do is to go to the churches and go to the mosque and pray. Allahu Akbar, oh Lord of Jesus, I worship your name. God, I want Nigeria to grow. I want Nigeria to go kill there. We must get beyond that parochially sentimental, bigoted position where religion defines our humanity and ethnocentrism projects our humanity. No, not at all. We must get to that point in our country where our progress and our development as a country is premised on our local capacity, on the people within our communities, on the leaders that we have who understand that Agbado, cassava, egg, and poultry and cattle and trees should define our humanity. If you are not supporting back, I ask, who are you supporting? If you are not supporting Agbado and Cassava, who you support? Who? The man that is telling you and I that he will develop Nigeria after importing all his life. You imported for 60 years. If you go old well, you get about 40 years to live. So you import for 60 years. I beg no verse. The remaining 40 years of your life. And I'm confident only 20 years are visible. That is when you want to become productive. That nothing is not going to begin produce. If Dangote comes to this country and say, I want to make Nigeria productive, Nigerians will believe because he has a history of productivity. Whatever you want, name you want to call it. Say that okay, he imports and does. He has a history of productivity. You want Nigeria to be led by somebody who was a custom officer who said, oh, I became a businessman, I retired. Sure. They're not the charge make manhood rise. I talk about me. They're not the charge make pennies rise. Lagos is a template. Borno is a confirmation of that template. We want a template and the confirmation of the template for the greater good of our people. So go ahead and mobilize for the country. Go ahead and mobilize for our people. Go ahead and mobilize for us, Agbado and Cassava. 10 million jobs in Asiwaju first 4 years. Like 25 million jobs by the time Asiwaju Shettima completes their ticket. Is what the Asiwaju Farmers Forum is promising Nigerians. We will make it happen. Asiwaju, I'm a Manchester United fan, unfortunately, even though we're not doing very well. But I go with Liverpool when it comes to we never walk alone. With the Asiwaju Farmers Forum, no farmer will be left alone. I'm Retin Tereke, the national coordinator of the Asiwaju Farmers Forum. My own is you must vote APC. Your thumbprint must be for the broom. It must be for the broom. What do you call broom in Yoruba?
Ibale.
It must be for Ibale. What do you call it in Hausa?
Tintia.
It must be for Tintia. There's no Igbo man here. But broom is what you vote for. Broom. Look at it. Show it. Vote bad cash. Vote bad cash. Anywhere you go to, AGBADOVOLUTION, vote bad cash. Asiwaju Farmers Forum. What do you call this in Yoruba?
Adìẹ.
Adìẹ. Ẹ̀gún ńkọ́?
Ẹyin.
Ẹyin. Cassava ńkọ́?
Ẹ̀gẹ́.
Ẹ̀gẹ́. Maize ńkọ́? Àgbàdo. Ẹ̀ka ńkọ́? Ẹ̀rọ. Yeah, you dey come and show me. What do you call this in Hausa?
Kaza.
Kaza. Me wana. Kwai. Wannan fa.
Rogo ne.
Rogo ne. Cineva.
Wannan shanu ne.
Shanu ne. And me asara. I am ready to take it. You have a great day, everybody. I'm off.